walked away or something like that. And it was just one of those moments where, like, it made me realize that, like, we were just so comfortable with our friendship and sort of pushing the boundaries with each other and sarcasm and all that. And then I forget that other people sort of look in the looking glass. It looks maybe very different, but it just makes me laugh now because I still have videos somewhere way back on my laptop of, like, you just, like, I think you absolutely just smacked the absolute, what's it out of me one time in the PE room. And I was trying to be deadly silent, and you just got to the point where you knew where I was. And I think that's something I just always giggle at. And it was just sort of that weird, nobody else quite got the situation, but it was always quite amusing. That's mine.
So an interesting episode for you to check out is a dreams episode that we did.
Yeah.
Because we talk about that, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully not she's this awful person.
No, we don't talk. We talk about how, like, we use kind of, like, our hearing to, like, try to identify where people are. Well, that's me.
Oh, what?
Anyway.
Like when you used to run into the walls?
Okay. Remember, I didn't use my cane those times. And
no, I know that's because I had.
Hold on a second. Oscar used to run around Oscar, hold on a second. You used to run around the upper floor of the building without your cane. And people would come to my room and go, "What is he doing?" I was like, "Don't worry, he's fine. He just left his cane here and was running in the hallway screaming and yelling."
I love it. Yeah.
Remember when I was accused for stealing a cane?
Were you? Oh my goodness. What?
Remember, Campagna?
I do. Dude, you got accused of a lot of stuff. Like, security and teachers would come to me and be like, "This happened without him." Like, it's perfectly fine. Oscar's okay. Like, he probably did it himself. I mean, so I guess it's my turn now.
Yeah.
What's
your
most memorable moment? Okay, and this moment still
feels the effects today.
Still is talked about today. So, if you can imagine a classroom, a teacher sitting at their desk, a student standing in the doorway, and think of how far a pitching mound is from the batter. And where the batting box is. Well, technically the student's blind and the student has the teacher's keys because he stole them from them because he had to go somewhere with someone else. So said student Oscar decides to throw the keys. But the teacher's talking with someone else. And as Oscar throws them, he throws them and he yells, "Watch out!" And said teacher, which was me yet, looks over and sees these keys coming and takes his hand and puts them in front of his face. But as he's doing that, the key goes, and Oscar's laughing, goes right to the eyebrow between the fingers. And yet said teacher can bench over 400 pounds. Realizes Oscar just threw keys at his face. And goes into Hulk mode. And decides to scream and yell and goes, "You ass." That's other choice words. "You almost made me blind. I have never seen someone, especially that is blind, drop their cane and run as fast as he did and as straight as he did in my life." Oscar did not come to my room for about 4 days because he was so scared that I was going to kill him.
I would be. Oh
God. Like, but the thing is, like, after he had done it, like, everyone was in awe, and I was like, you have to be joking. Like, he had the best day ever. So as a joke, I went down to the office to fill out some paperwork and get ice for my eye and a Band-Aid. And I went and saw the baseball coach, who was having a very rough year, and I said, I have the best pitcher for you. Who? There I go. Dude, you're not going to believe it. You're not gonna believe it. Like, this guy can beat it. There's only one problem. He can't see. He goes, what? I go, yeah, it's Oscar. He's blind. He did this to me. He goes, what? So, like, we talked about trying to get Oscar to try out for baseball, but he really never wanted to.
Oh, missed opportunity there.
Missed opportunity. He's been great, dude. But, so, to this day, I still have a fear. If people throw keys at me, I cringe and then I yell at them, don't you throw keys at me!
No.
Because I'm afraid that they're in my face.
Oh, my God.
So, again, Oscar, you have scarred me for life, and I will never forget that. Well, I love you so much for that, dude.
Oh, it's great.
Thanks. No, well, you're welcome for that memory. You know what memory sticks with me, though? And I think I brought this up on like previous episodes. I think I brought it up in an episode that focused around like my life, growing up. So I remember this one time. I stayed after school, and I think this teacher has told you, Campania, as well what happened. Well, he told everyone because he was shocked. Anyways, so I stayed after school to work on some quizzes for my government class. So I went to go turn them in, and I'm like, hey, here are my like completed quizzes, and I knew that he was in the room, because I heard like a noise. So said teacher decides to try to walk back to his desk. So I knew where his desk was, so I go towards his desk. Again, the teacher, I don't know what he's trying to do. He moves even further. So then I'm following his every move. I guess I cornered him somehow and he couldn't escape. Picks up a tissue box.
I know what
decides to throw it at me, and I don't know how. I got that. I didn't just catch it. I caught it one-handed.
I remember this because he would not stop talking about this. Oh, what a brilliant teacher. And a good throw, apparently. Maybe he could do the baseball team.
Mm.
I still don't to this day don't know how I ended up catching that.
That was really impressive, though. I remember him saying about it and him being, like, in awe.
He was like,
See, Oscar, man, you could have been famous, man, playing baseball. You had your 2 opportunities, you blew it.
I was about to say, big bucks.
Yeah, but then having them throwing it at me is another thing. And I can't deal with an injury.
Well, you could have been,
You caught it and you can throw it, so you're good.
Yeah. You're all right. You can be a pitcher. Probably fine.
So.
Yeah, don't they only play certain positions sometimes? Something like that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, see, you're good. Just throw and catch. Easy. Sorted. Hit people. But instead of, I suppose, I don't know. You might be able to throw keys, but we don't know if you can throw a ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. The ball throwing wasn't a good thing for him, but keys, it was perfect at.
Oh, yeah, the wind blowing through them. Perfect, yeah.
So, Philippa, you said that you live in the UK. How is it living over there?
It depends
the
on
last
what you mean.
few years.
It's brilliant in the nicest way possible to all your American listeners. I wouldn't move back if somebody paid me to.
I'll give you 100 million euros a year.
That's a loaded question right now.
No, yeah. Wait, sorry. Euros, what?
I was saying I'll give you 100 million euros a year.
Nah, mate. You couldn't give me enough to go live in Trump land again. No, not a chance. No. But, yeah, I love it. It's great. My degree was great. I loved it because I went to do art because that's the only thing I'm good at. And I only had to do art. So in the States, obviously, you have to do all the other subjects, but I only had to do art, and that was it. And then graduated, after 3 years in November last year, moved to London with the boyfriend. And now I work on the trains, going to Cornwall and back.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, you know that lady in Harry Potter who goes anything from the trolley? That's me right now. But I'm hoping.
I never watched Harry Potter, so you lost me at that reference.
Basically, I'm a tea and coffee lady at the moment. But
You're a tea and coffee?
Yeah. But like it's a bit more like safety critical than that, the role I have, because it's like I also have to be security-ish on, like, sometimes you get 2 portions of train that are like nose to nose, and it's like a 10-car train. So I'll go on the front, and then the train manager will go on the back. So then I'm in charge of everyone in the front, if that makes sense. But yeah, so the goal is to, in a few months or whenever the position comes up, apply for a train manager. So that's like the person who's in charge of everything if anything goes wrong. But at the moment, I'm sort of just, I help with ramps. I assist people if they come on, if they're in a chair, if they're visually impaired, if they're, traveling very young, etc., etc. And that's sort of like between me and the TM. And then, yeah, also serve food and drinks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's sort of quite good, but the plan is to change that to be a higher position. But I only got that job in December, so I've sort of had to wait for my probation to end. But yeah, I do that and sort of live in London, travel quite a bit. Being in London, it's quite nice because I can get to pretty much anywhere else in Europe pretty easy, except for right now because of pandemic. But yeah, it was weird being. I mean, London's really weird right now because obviously we don't have any international tourists, so proper not the same as it is. But yeah, it's great. How's it living over there right now, guys?
We have no international tourists either.
Yeah, I bet.
We have nothing. We can't even leave our states.
Yeah,
Not
pretty
even
much.
States. Oh, I didn't know that.
I can't leave my house because if I need to leave the house, then I would have to take a Lyft or an Uber, and I'm not that brave. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
No, there's if you go to certain states, you have to quarantine yourself for 14 days. So
I'm not surprised. I suppose that's a good tactic because it's the same over here with countries. So like France is on the quarantine list for us in certain places, and then they look at it weekly. So I'm assuming it's the same for you guys, isn't it?
oh yeah, well no, we're just on everyone's quarantine list.
Oh great, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean it's weird. It's a weird one because it's like I don't know how long it's gonna take for you guys to get back to normal. I mean no one does really, but it's like my boyfriend, his dad's 50th was this February, and they booked a trip to New York City for November, and they're like they've still got no idea whether that's actually going to even be able to happen because it's like, well, can they get there is number one. Number two, can they get back without having to quarantine? Number three, when they do get there, is anything actually going to be open? It's like all these sorts of bits and pieces. I don't know. It seems really weird because some people you see online in America are acting like nothing's wrong, and then like you said, Oscar, you won't even get in an Uber, which is it's the two extremes, isn't it? So it's really hard to judge what's actually going on over there, especially since America's so big as well. So it will be different state to state. So it's weird though. But how's Virginia handling it? How's like what's the stuff been like?
I think we're like the lowest state that has like not that many cases.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or has that changed?
Well, it's a little different for us. I mean, we're kind of in the middle, because again, you have our big metropolitan areas, and then you have our southern areas.
Well, true,
so it's because everyone keeps going to the beaches and everything else, and that keeps changing. And college is starting up, and schools are getting cases that are left and right, and so that's skewing numbers. That's messing things up. I mean,
I bet.
And like I said, it is what it is.
Well, yeah, take it day by day, I suppose. Do your bit, and that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, do you guys have any wacky stories? Because again, we haven't caught up in like a long time. So, Any
Wacky.
wacky stories
Stories about what?
since any just general story.